Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out AmItheA whole. Story 1. AITA for avoiding my partner's mum when we all live together. I, 28F, live with my fian, 31M, and his parents. It's temporary but has been a while now and we are looking for our own place. His mum and dad are both alcoholics. His dad drinks every day but he goes to bed early and doesn't really change. His mum drinks 1 to 2 and sometimes 3 bottles of red wine a day. When I can tell she's had a drink I can't stand the woman. My own mum is a heavy alcoholic and has been since before I was born, so my tolerance is very low when it comes to alcohol abuse. My partner hates it and it's making his relationship with her very strained. She has blown up on multiple occasions, breaking things and screaming at all of us and falling over. It happened recently when we wanted to cook our food and she blew up and started screaming. I mean screaming. His dad and him have decided not to punish her because it's nearly Christmas and there's no point. She will never change. But I can't just be pals with the woman, and whenever she's in the room now, I can't help but just avoid her and not talk to her as much. My partner has asked me to make an effort to make it easier on him, as I have done in the past. But I'm just done. AITA. Story 2. AITA for reaching out to the man who is rumored to be my bio dad. Long story short, my 34F family has always had the rumor that I am not my father's 58M. I used to think it was because I looked so different to my siblings, 39F and 16M. But I straight up look adopted ASF in family photos. I don't look an ounce like my father, and he doesn't reproduce. He clones. My siblings are mirror images of him. I have brought this rumor up with my parents on many occasions. They have always said, "No, you are his." Until one day I asked my dad while he was really drunk. He said, "Ask your fucking mother about Wayne Carey," name changed obviously. I did exactly that. My mother denied anything. I persisted and she eventually said, "Okay, it was just a kiss. That's it." I threw it on the back burner because A, I thought they were taking the piss because the name I was told, is also the name of a famous Aussie sports person. And B, my parents are liars. My dad has narc traits and my mother BPD. You can never believe a thing they say. Parent backstory, they split when I was little. My dad stepped out of the marriage a lot, and my mother too apparently. My BFF got curious and looked his name up on FB and managed to find a man with same name, from my hometown, who was FB friends with my estranged uncle. I was told he was a family friend, so this matches. Now I'm wanting to get to the bottom of this. My health is declining and I doubt I'll still be here by 45. I want to know if I potentially have family that will want to know me while I'm still here, and potential family that may want to know my children, 10F and 13F. My dad won't do a DNA test, neither will my siblings. My dad's ex-GF, she raised me, told me she believes the rumor to be true, and that is the reason why my dad always treated me different to my siblings, and borderline shunned me. And that when my dad took me when I was little to live with him, my mother told everyone that I wasn't his. Ugh, I just want the truth. AITA if I reached out to this man? Story 3. AITA for not being more forceful in explaining to my friend that our new classmate is Mongolian, not Mongoloid. My friend is a well-meaning idiot. We have a new guy in our class. We were introducing ourselves hometowns. He mentioned that he was from Ulaanbaatar. My friend chimes in to show how smart he is and says that's in Mongolia. All good so far. At lunch, however, he mentioned how cool it was to have a Mongoloid in our class. I said that he shouldn't say that. He told me to stop being racist. I don't really understand how he got to that conclusion. So I shut up and let him make a fool of himself. On the way home he called me an asshole for not telling him what he was saying. I reminded him that he called me a racist when I tried. He says that if I was really a friend I would have made more of an effort. Story 4. AITA for not buying my 12-year-old a MacBook. I have 3 daughters, 11, 14, and 17, and 1 son, 10. My 11-year-old came up to me and asked if she could have a MacBook Air for Christmas. She said it's because her friends have it and it's useful for school. We have a family iMac she can do schoolwork on and she has a personal Chrome ebook as well. So I told her no, I could afford one, but it doesn't seem very useful. It would be way above the Christmas budget to get her such an expensive product and I'd be unfair to the other kids that she gets a much more expensive gift. She says my oldest has a MacBook, which she paid for herself, and thus she should have one. My wife says we should get the 11-year-old a MacBook because she doesn't have a way of getting a job and making money like my 17-year-old has, which I get, but my 11-year has basically no need for one, while my 17-year-old does some software development and is planning on using it for collage. My 11-year-old is now upset with me and says none of her friends use a slow Chrome ebook and that she'll be made fun of. AITA. Story 5. AITA for not bringing my brother his medicina. I, 18F, am very antisocial and have major social anxiety, so typically I don't like to go outside unless it's completely necessary. My brother, 27M, is very domineering and he has been pushing my boundaries for a long while. Sending me out to bring things for him, at first it was alright because he just used to send me out to bring snack or stuff from nearby. But now he is sending me out to bring him things from faraway stores, which are 30 to 40 minutes away. While he is just sitting at home doing nothing, I would have been alright with it if was busy with something and he sent me out, but no, he is completely capable of doing it himself yet he sends me out. Today, he asked me to bring his medicines, when I told him to tell our father to bring them on his way home tomorrow. He said that his meds ran out the day before yesterday, when our father was home, but he didn't tell him then. Now he wants me to bring them, but I am sick myself, I am tired from school and have work that I need to finish for tomorrow, so I said no. The thing which I hate about this whole thing is when I say I am too tired or I cannot go out, he emotionally blackmails me. Saying stuff like okay, I see how it is, or okay, then you don't have to do anything. Or next time you need something from me I am not going to do it. Whereas in reality he has never given up his comfort for doing anything for me. Yes, he has bought me some really expensive art supplies and I am grateful for those. But at the same time I am tired. This is maybe not the best thing to say, but that is how I feel, especially because of the things he says. I would really like to know if I am wrong for feeling this way. Update: we had a massive argument and now he is trying not to talk to me, but at the same time he is calling me out of habit. Usually I am the one assisting him with the simplest of things that he has grown a habit of calling me whenever he needs help. Now he is just randomly calling me and stopping mid-sentence. Not going to lie, it's kind of funny. But things are a bit tense and I don't like that. I hope it gets better. And thank you for all the... Story 6. AITA for crying during an argument. TBH, this happened months ago, so I don't fully remember what exactly happened, but one thing stuck with me and I still feel really bad and conflicted about it. For context, my 18E parents split up when I was 5 and my father has never really had contact with me. He definitely didn't have contact with me during this whole event. He started messaging me a few days before my 18th birthday, which was only like 2-3 months ago, but that's not really important. My mom married my stepdad, Evan, during the pandemic, but they'd been together for about 2 years prior to that. Things have been tense in our family since the pandemic happened and we were all kind of forced into one area together. I was an undiagnosed neurodivergent for most of my life, and both my mom and stepdad are neurotypical and don't fully understand a lot of my symptoms. A lot of my tendencies have created arguments between us and it gets super tense in the house afterwards. So, a while ago, my mom and stepdad were getting ready to leave and go somewhere. I don't remember where. I don't remember what started the argument either, so do not ask, but I remember Evan being really mad and yelling at me. I tend to cry during arguments because I do not handle conflict well. And I'm standing there as he's yelling at me, and I start crying. Not like sobs or anything, just silently crying as tears slide down my cheeks. He then says something along the lines of "Stop crying. It's not making me feel guilty, so fucking stop it." Evan has a history of telling me I'm manipulative. That I twist my words and stories to try and get them to do what I want so that I can be a lazy, contempt, arrogant princess. I haven't come out to them about being non-binary yet, and just do whatever the fuck I want. This is not true, and if it is, by some miracle, I do not do it on purpose. I actually recently found out that Evan thinks that everything I do is to manipulate him, which is, again, not true. So AITA for crying and trying to manipulate my stepdad into being guilty for yelling at me? Story 7. AITA for telling my black friend she'd be able to get any man. My friend, Black 21F, and I, Asian 19F, are both college students, and we met during a mentoring program. We've become kind of close and she let me know she has been crushing on this white man. She told me that she shouldn't be crushing on him though because he's white and probably doesn't like black girls. I said to her that she's a baddie and that any man would be lucky to have her. She became upset as she said I was invalidating her experiences as a black female and that I shouldn't just assume. I originally meant it as a compliment but AITA? Story 8. AITA for yelling at my cousins to STFU when they wouldn't stop laying into me over dumb video game stuff. TLDR, 2 of my cousins nagged me hard about a video game, one about getting better and one about how garbage I was, after accidentally stealing a kill from one of them. They wouldn't stop when I kept telling them to, so I yelled at them to STFU. I have not heard from one of them in days and a Christmas party is coming up in which we will see each other. AITA, or was I justified, and should I apologize? I, 23M, was playing a MOBA with my cousins Armando, 25M, and Mark, 32M. We'd played matches in the evening up till 2 AM. The three of us had a strategy of jumping one guy, moving on to the next, so on so forth. While it was solid, because of a mechanic, about 12 enemies managed to escape the jumping over the course of the night. So I was on edge and when I saw someone low on health I had to evaluate whether one of them were going to get him or I had to. I was having great games, I was 13-3 this last one, Mark was 3-6, and Armando was having a bad night and was 1-8 here. Armando sets off kinda easy, and for the past couple hours went real quiet unless it was to complain about how bad he was. At one point, Armando died and was watching me and Mark chase down the last guy on the other team. I ran in first, dumped all my damage on him, and walked out so Mark could do his thing and I could get my damage back to use on him again if need be. Mark used all his damage and the enemy was low health, since so many escaped us all night and I knew Mark couldn't catch up to him, I ran in and finished him off. Unfortunately, that was right as Mark used his big ultimate attack. So I got the kill but Mark wasted his ultimate. I didn't think he had it since I saw him use it 30 seconds earlier and, TBH, I didn't really know how it worked. This accidental steal set my cousins off. Mark was irritated and got on me for stealing his kill. I apologized and said I didn't know that his ultimate tracked the target or that he could catch him. Mark started giving me a fat lecture about being basically omnipresent in my awareness of every possibility, wanting me to play like a pro at standards he doesn't even hold himself to, but I get what he was getting at and it wasn't entirely BS. Armando, after hours of brooding silence, piped up specifically to rant about how much of a janitor I am, or someone who only comes to fight at the last second to steal eliminations, and how I sucked at team games. While Mark was giving me a whole presentation, Armando was yelling over him to talk all manners of trash about me. I told them about 5 times to cut it out, but I snapped and said shut the up. Which Armando met with you. You don't do that. Which is ironic since he has a history of snapping at us easily. We won the game off my kill but I got off afterwards and haven't heard from them. AITA for snapping at them when nothing else worked, and should I apologize since we have a party soon? I always have sucked it up silently to keep the peace, but I'm frankly sick of it. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.